Good morning, good morning. It is that time. I don't know what y'all all here for today, but great crowd, terrific crowd. I walked the halls a little bit earlier today. Just at my height, that seemed pretty normal to be walking the halls of an elementary school. I know most of you gentlemen, I didn't go into the ladies, but I know most of you gentlemen in the men's restrooms, if you looked at yourself in the mirror, and I can tell that some of you didn't, but if you did, most of you probably had to go like this. I just stood straight up, no problem for me whatsoever, but I can just imagine this place yesterday, a lot of laughter and fun in the halls, and hopefully we'll replicate a little bit of that this morning as well. I'll just tell you, I'm glad to be here. I was trying to, and Michelle, where is Michelle? Where's my wife? Are you here? I know, I saw you earlier. You're little, but stand up. Where are you? She's somewhere out there. There she is, way back there. But bless her heart, she made an effort to get here. But we were traveling, and we really almost got stuck in Chicago last night. And our suitcases are still somewhere around Chicago or something. And now this is a true story. So if this ever happens to you, just don't be completely shocked. But after we'd made a lot of efforts to reroute and get a different airline and get home about midnight, 12:30, something like that, the last thing that we did at the airport was to get our bags, hopefully en route to be delivered sometime today or tomorrow or something like that. And one of the last questions that the lady, and she was super nice, asked me, she said, "Now, sir, can you identify 2 or 3 or 4 unique things that were in your suitcases?" Now think about that just a second. I said, "We want you to just get our bags to us. You don't need to go through them." And I said, "But if you really want something that's identifiable," and I told them the brand of my underwear and 1 or 2 other things and all that, but I said, "Just try to look for the suitcase that has adult clothes that are children sized." And that will do it. So we hope we'll get our bags, but I tell you what, it makes me feel really, really good to be in good old Lynchburg, Tennessee today, and southern Tennessee after being that. We're all fortunate to be here. I'm Anthony Kimbrough, and I serve as one of our directors, serve Maury County and 4 other counties around Maury, and am your board chairman at this time. And so it's time for me in that role to be able to call the annual meeting of the Duck River Electric Membership Corporation to order. Obviously, there's a quorum present, by the way. Thank you very much. This is the largest crowd that we've had in several years, maybe as long as I can remember. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the truck that we might give away later. And I have to tell you, I'm sorry about this, but this is the annual meeting of your electric corporation, and so that means we do have to conduct a little bit of business this morning, and we will do that, and bear with us, and then we will get to the door prizes and that time. But since we are in Tennessee, we know what's important. We're going to begin this meeting in the right way. And so, Connie, where are you? If you and your short story winners, which we'll hear a little bit more about later, but if y'all will come down front, we'll begin this meeting as we should with the Pledge of Allegiance. And States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now our secretary, Dana Salters, also from Maury County, will read the notice of the meeting and proof of publication.
Good morning. It is beautiful to see this room, and thank you for sharing your Saturday with us. We know how precious Saturdays are. So without further ado, this is to certify I, Dana Salters, Secretary of Duck River Electric Membership Corporation, do hereby make oath that on July 28, 2025, I caused to be mailed to each member of Duck River Electric Membership Corporation at his or her address as it appears on the records of the cooperative with postage thereon, prepaid a notice of the annual membership meeting to be held on Saturday, September 6, 2025. This action was in compliance with Article 2, Section 3.3 of the Duck River Electric Membership Cooperation Bylaws. And this is also to certify that Chris Kirk, editor of the Tennessee Magazine, 2029-64 Sitco Drive, Nashville, Tennessee, caused to be placed in the U.S. Post Office, Danville, Kentucky, on Monday, July 28, 2025, the August issue of the Tennessee Magazine containing co-op news edition properly addressed to Duck River Electric Membership Cooperation members with postage thereon paid. This co-op news edition contained the official notice of the Duck River Annual Membership Meeting of the Duck River Electric Membership Cooperation to be held on Saturday, September 6, 2025 in Lynchburg, Tennessee. Thank you.
Thank you, Dana, and thank you for lowering the microphone. So, by the way, each of you hopefully found these, so if you would turn your attention just a second, and inside the program are the minutes from last year's meeting. And so at this point, I need, if possible, a motion to be able to approve those minutes as written. And if you, and can help me with your name and county so Miss Jenny can keep us straight. Okay, and I have a motion. Do I have a second? Okay, John Eccles, Bedford County, thank you. We have a motion and a second. If there are no questions, all say aye to approve. Aye. Any opposition? There is none. Thank you. And then so that you can kind of know who's up here today, I want to introduce some folks to you. I just referenced Jenny Armstrong, the executive assistant at Duck River, and I can tell you that the administrative offices probably would kind of just stop if we didn't have Jenny. So we are tremendously blessed to have her and appreciate her. Can't say quite so much the same, but Philip Duncan is the treasurer of your board, and you'll hear from him in just a moment. I guess you could probably get even, Philip, I don't know. You've heard from Dana Salters already, and Andy Bobo, general counsel for Duck River. And then beside here is James Wright. Last year at this very same meeting, not at this location, we didn't have a James Wright. And we were in the process of as a board, finding and identifying the next CEO for our organization. And I told you at that meeting that we needed and were looking for two things. Someone that would value family. That family being the employees at Duck River and the members of Duck River, because that's how we feel, that's who we are. And we told you we needed to find someone that had the knowledge and the vision to lead our electric cooperative during a period and a time of fast and dynamic change and challenges in that industry. James Wright is that person. And so I'm absolutely grateful, as I know the board is, to be able to have him on board as CEO of Duck River Electric. So James, thank you for being here, and welcome to your first Duck River annual meeting. We also have in the audience with us today Patrick Lyle over here with Winnett Associates and an audit company. Chris Templeton. Chris is a customer relations manager with TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, that's who we get our power from that we then distribute to you. So thank you, Chris, for being here. I do not see Mike Knotts. Is Mike in the very back? Mike, thank you for coming down from Franklin. Mike Knotts is the CEO, general manager of the Tennessee Electric Cooperative Association. Your Duck River Electric is the fourth largest cooperative in the state. And Mike works with the association of all of those co-ops. And so we appreciate him being here with us today. And next, directors, if y'all would help me. Y'all are all in the blue shirts like this. So if y'all would stand, I'm not going to introduce all of us individually. But if y'all would stand, and I think there's some of them back here, Wayne and Mark. These are your elected directors, and so we're wearing the blue shirt, so you can find us if you need us and want to talk to us at any point in time this morning. So, and I can tell you, being able to serve with them is truly a blessing, and they care deeply about that family that I just talked about earlier, and because we're all members too, who are served by the same co-op that you're served by. And so I appreciate them, and I know you do as well. And then now I'd like to welcome, we're in the home of Lynchburg and Jack Daniels, one of the customers that we serve. We serve residential customers, we serve business customers. And so Jack Daniels has been a member for a long, long time, and they don't need any introduction, but Mr. Dale McGee is the Director of Technical Services and Maintenance at Jack Daniel Distillery. And so Dale, if you'll come on up, we'll let you spend some time with them, and appreciate you being here today. And I think you've probably got some things in your goodie bucket, maybe courtesy of Jack Daniels, and I'd encourage you to take a tour later if you, they've got a lot of stuff inside you can see when it's not raining. Thank you, Dale.
Appreciate it. My water crowd this morning. Welcome to Lynchburg, everyone. I'm delighted to have you here today, for sure. I want to talk Jack Daniels to be proud, generational employer with many families, including my son, having worked there for decades, or my own. My grandmother was in the bottling house in the 1950s, and my son is now fourth generation. This commitment to long-term employment is something we share with Duck River Electric. It reflects our belief, our dedicated investments in our communities is invaluable. Geographically, Lynchburg is in the heart of Duck River Electric service area, and they consistently provide safe and reliable electricity, which is essential for our operations. I've had the pleasure of collaborating with Duck River to support on our power grid for over 32 years, and have also found them to be good business partners and good neighbors. Through this relationship, I've also found many lasting friendships within Duck River family. Both Jack Daniels and Duck River share a deep commitment to community care. Jack Daniels has been in Lynchburg for 159 years, and then next year, Duck River will celebrate their 90th anniversary of bringing power to this area. These milestones are a testament to wise decisions, future investments, and what's right for our companies. Employees in the communities depend on us. We share a commitment for ensuring jobs, security, economic growth, and a sustainable future for generations to come. While our town may seem small, it offers a lot, especially today. We welcome over 250,000 tourists a year. And our major events include the Jack Daniels Barbecue, the Tunnel of Tires, the 5K run and walk, which was actually this morning, so they was probably running in the rain, but the Jack and Back Ride, the All-Timers Walk, and the Frontier Days, and that's just to name a few. After the meeting, I encourage you to explore the unique shops around the square. Consider staying for lunch in one of our downtown restaurants and treating yourself to a dessert from one of our sweet shops. If your schedule allows, please visit Jack Daniels Distillery for a tour and learn about our time-honored whiskey making process, and make reservations at Miss Bobo's restaurant and come back to enjoy a country-style meal. I trust you find anything to enjoy in Lynchburg each time you visit. And again, welcome again, everyone.
Thank you, Dale. It is a unique place with a tremendous amount of history. And you referenced the 5K. If I'm not mistaken, I think we had some members who ran in that who came in their wet garb. Is that right? All right. They ran in the 5K and then come to the annual meeting. They ought to win some door prize. I don't know what, but my Lynchburg story. Just got it, because Dale hit it exactly right, kind of the involvement of the community with Jack and with Duck River. But here's my Lynchburg story. We come to the lake quite a bit and spend a lot of time down here. And Michelle and I, were at one of those eating establishments that Dale just referenced down on the square one day for breakfast. And we'd been there long enough to have ordered and gotten our food, and I don't know whether it was toast or biscuits that I had, but I needed some jelly. And so I kind of went up to the counter and said, "Hey, can I get some jelly?" She said, "Yeah, just a second." I fully expected, she said, "Just go back and I'll bring it to you." I fully expected to get a little ketchup packet or something like that. So I went down and sat back at the table, and I could see kind of back toward the kitchen. And the young lady, she'd appreciate me saying young lady at this point, but the young lady walked back to the refrigerator, opened the door, pulled out a brand new jar of Smucker's grape jelly, and brought it to the table and said, "Just bring it back when you're finished." I told Michelle, I said, "Now that's what I love about Lynchburg. That ain't gonna happen in Nashville." And it's what makes this southern Middle Tennessee really a special place. So that's my Lynchburg, one of several Lynchburg stories, but that's the only one I'm going to tell this morning. That kind of is what makes, that kind of service is what makes, I like to think, us a little bit special. Duck River, as Dale mentioned, we've been serving members now for 89 years. Next year will be our 90th anniversary from our establishment in 1936. And that service is provided, and you see them all around this morning. They're in the red shirts, much more important than the blue shirts, believe me. But those are your employees. Those are the folks who work for Duck River Electric. And so as a board, I know we would want to say thank you to them today and every day. But they've had some tremendous challenges in the past few years because this year, no different than the past few years, has been one of tremendous growth. Our cooperative this year has welcomed about 1,300 new members. And so when I say new members and meters, how many we serve, we now serve over 86,000 homes and businesses. And again, those are meters, so there are many more people served out of those meters and that home. Our area continues to grow, and I don't have to tell you that. You know it. I'm privileged, as is Dana, to serve Murray County. It is now, I believe, the fastest growing county in the state. And that kind of growth isn't just unique to Columbia. From Columbia to Sewanee, we're seeing growth that's not just fast growth, large growth, but that's really transformational. And, growth is an interesting thing. I'm kind of getting pretty old now, and walking these halls this morning just kind of reminded me of our two girls growing up and here in southern Middle Tennessee. And to be able to watch them grow up in this patch of Tennessee that we call home, and from seeing Michaela and Mackenzie chase fireflies in the backyard to now, today, young women with families and children, my grandchildren, of their own, 4 of them. To be able to see that and to watch a whole new generation grow up here. And when you've been in business 89 years, you're able to watch that and just the special part of that. And so just like our families grow, what we have to do as a co-op to serve those families and those businesses has to evolve and change. You know it, the roads, drove back from Nashville last night. Wow, reminds me again, even at 11:30 at night, where's all that traffic coming from? The roads are busier, the lights stay on longer, and the demand for electricity, the demand for power has never been greater than it is. That's a tremendous blessing, and yet at the same time, it's a challenge. It's a challenge because it's no secret to any of you that everything we do today, everything that we buy today is more expensive than it used to be. And the electricity that powers your home is no exception. And despite the rising cost pressures that our industry faces, and Mike certainly and Chris can speak to that far better than I can, but here at Duck River Electric, we absolutely believe and know that the cooperative continues to work extremely hard to deliver real value in the backdrop of those kind of challenges. And we'll just speak to that. Since 2018, Duck River Electric, we've adjusted rates 3 times, and only when absolutely necessary to keep pace with the cost of doing business. And the bigger picture that kind of maybe puts a little bit of that into context is that inflation since 2018 has climbed 28%, while the cost of electricity from Duck River has been in the ballpark of 5% less than that. And that doesn't just happen. It's a reflection of tremendous planning on the part of leadership and work on the part of employees, responsible investment. One of the things I've learned since being involved in this business is it's an extremely costly business. We talk about going into debt and mortgaging a home, but to build transformers that we have to keep up with the kind of growth we have, it's a very capital heavy industry, and challenges us in many ways to keep your energy affordable, even as everything around us gets more and more expensive. So, as you probably, if you've looked in your Tennessee magazine this month, sometimes increases on our electric bills are unavoidable. And so we recently, just a few days ago, announced that beginning October 1, Duck River will implement a 2.5% rate adjustment. For the average household, that probably equates to about $4.17 or so on your monthly bill, depending on your usage. No one likes to see our rates go up. And I can tell you, everyone in this room, members, employees, and directors, we all pay the same rates that you do. And, every once in a while, we probably think, well, maybe going back to the old days, look at the turkeys. That's probably not good to tell you. Don't pay any attention to me. Look at the turkeys out the windows. And y'all probably can't tell because I'm way up here. This is the one time in my life that I get to be taller than you, and I can see the turkeys. You can't. Lynchburg, Tennessee, southern middle Tennessee. What makes us special? Okay, now I've got to bring this back. But sometimes we maybe we think, well, we'll go back to the days of carrier pigeons and candles to light the house. You young ladies down there can't even relate to that. Maybe your parents and grandparents can talk to you about that. Candles and carrier pigeons. But, when you think about that for a moment, then you recognize, no, I kind of like that hot shower in the morning. I like my Diet Coke really cold out of that refrigerator. And I like to be able to hop on the internet and have the kind of Wi-Fi service that I want. So that's reality of who we are as a society today. And quite simply, the rate adjustment that we're talking about simply is to help us keep the lights on safely and reliably. I think I talked to you, James, this morning. Despite everything that went on last night, the wind and all that, I think we had just a few hundred homes that were out of service and that didn't stay out of service very long. So thanks to our linemen and those folks that make that happen. One of the things we have to think about, and it's our responsibility to, when you've been in business 89 years, we've got a lot of infrastructure out there that's kind of like me. It's not as young as it used to be. And more prone to outages. And so we've got to continue to do everything we can to replace that so that we can strengthen our responses when we do have those storms and the recovery efforts at that time to get your lights and your power back on as quickly as we can. And so The increases that you will see reflected on your bill next month will help support building new substations to help us cover some of that growth that we talked about earlier and all those expanding lines to neighborhoods and businesses that are reshaping southern Middle Tennessee, quite honestly. And all of this is an investment in you, in our members, the members that we're proud to serve today, and the members like these young ladies that will serve in the future. And like I said, one of the things that we have to be very conscious about is we don't want you as a member today having to bear the full brunt of the cost of building for them in the future. And so there's a balance there. And so you may see when Philip does his treasurer's report here in a moment, well, it looks like they're making some money. There's some net income there and all of that. We're a not-for-profit corporation. All of that revenue and that income, that margin that you see, is reinvested back into the infrastructure so that we can be prepared to continue to serve our members like them in the future, as well as you today. By the way, as I finish, when those bills get tough, remember we try to do everything that we can. If a bill ever feels out of reach for a member, that we have different programs to help support, to help them manage and work their way through those situations. We partner with TVA, Chris, to offer a variety of energy efficiency programs to kind of help people squeeze every bit they can out of their energy dollar. We offer a variety of ways to pay your bill with levelized billing and prepay programs. And we also partner with local organizations to help with financial assistance to members who are struggling to pay their bills. So don't ever hesitate to call and talk with someone. Talk with one of those red shirts. I don't know if it's okay to call you red shirts. I guess it is. I don't know. Talk to one of those folks about the help that we may be able to offer you. At Duck River Electric, our promise remains the same 89 years later. I hope we have an even bigger crowd next year when we celebrate 90 years. But our mission and our promise remains the same, is to serve you with integrity, with foresight, planning to think about the future so that we can continue to help our communities thrive for generations. Growth, which is a good thing, but also a challenging thing. Inflation, cost pressures, they will test us, but they won't define us. We're committed to making smart, responsible choices, and I can assure you, knowing these blue shirts, that they always do it with your best interest at heart. So we look forward to another good year this year in 26, focusing on delivering you reliable service, making smart investments, and supporting the places and the people that we serve every day. And who knows, we may do it with a little jelly for your biscuit if we need to. So, Mr. Duncan, I believe it is time for you to give us our treasurer's report.
Good morning. I'm going to apologize on the front end. I'm not the comedian Anthony is, but I did notice I've always heard birds of a feather flock together, so all the turkeys have heard their leader speak and they've gone. Okay, so Winnett Associates is a financial auditor for Duck River, and I am pleased to share that their audit confirmed a clean financial report. The auditor issued an unqualified opinion, which is the highest level of assurance that can be received. The opinion received is as follows, and I quote, "The financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects the financial position of Duck River Electric Membership Corporation as of June 30th, 2025 and 2024, and the results of its operation and its cash flows for the years then ended in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America." End of quote. In accordance with government auditing standards, the auditor also issued a report in consideration of Duck River's internal controls, over financial reporting and on compliance with certain provisions of laws, regulations, contracts, and grant agreements, and other matters. Their report indicates that they did not identify any deficiencies in internal control that they considered to be material weaknesses and no instances of noncompliance or other matters that are required to be reported under government auditing standards. So in summary, 2025 was another good financial year for the 86,020 members served by Duck River Electric. We were able to make all the required debt and interest payments to our 3 lenders as required in our debt covenants. Additionally, we invested more than $33 million into our electrical plant to better serve our membership. As you know, the cooperative uses all funds received to further our mission in delivering safe and reliable electricity to the members we serve. Thank y'all.
Okay, well, good morning, everybody. I'm going to go just a little bit off script, which I know that's going to make my director of communications a little nervous. But I'm just curious, if you wouldn't mind, if you're a first-time attendee of our annual meeting, would you raise your hand? I'd just like to get an idea. Holy smokes. So let's give you all a nice round of applause. So for those that were looking at me and not in the crowd, that's about everybody. No, just joking. But it was a large amount of folks. First off, I just want to say thank you all for being here today. I was greeting folks when I first was in the hallway, and I always ask folks, hey, how are y'all doing? On more than one occasion, I got what you might expect, which is I'm wet. So I just want to thank y'all for coming out in this weather. It was certainly less than ideal, but we certainly love to engage with you, our member owners. So what I wanted to do real quick, Troy Crowell, are you here today? I saw you. He was kind of dressed up. He's probably in the hallway. I'm going to put him on the spot too. This is off script as well. There he is. So Troy, would you raise your hand? So that's Troy Crowell, and for y'all that may remember, and for those of y'all that were here last year, Troy was charged as being the interim CEO during the time before I joined Duck River, during the time that the board was looking for the next president and CEO. And so I want to begin today by thanking Troy, as well as 2 individuals, Scott Dahlstrom, who is here. Scott, will you raise your hand? And also Kayla Young, who were tasked with leading the cooperative before I joined. And so they did a great job during that time, so I want to thank them as well as the rest of the Duck River family. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the board of directors for the trust they've put in me and allowing me to lead Duck River. I love this place. I couldn't be happier to be here. So as Anthony talked about, I joined Duck River last November by way of a Georgia cooperative. And I can tell y'all that in coming here, I was certainly shown the words Southern hospitality. My family and I were welcomed with open arms by the folks here of Southern Middle Tennessee, and we've enjoyed getting to know everyone as well as taking in the natural beauty of this area. And I think we would all agree that a place like Lynchburg, Tennessee certainly is one of the most beautiful places on God's green earth. My communications staff has informed me that one of the themes of my remarks is to always thank our executive assistant, Miss Jenny Armstrong, so right there. For those of y'all that don't know, of course, Jenny keeps the executives and the board in line, but she also, what I would say most importantly, keeps us fed. And anyone that knows me knows I love dessert. And Miss Jenny has kind of a Duck River famous, I say pecan, I know it's pecan, but I'll say it wrong if I think about it too much, pecan pie that she makes for every board meeting. And I see a lot of friendly faces in the crowd, and I will tell y'all right now, every one of them that works at Duck River can attest that I have had more than my fair share of pecan pie since joining Duck River. So thank you, Miss Jenny. Let's give Miss Jenny a round of applause. So we just started the month of September, and it's hard to believe that I've been here a little over 10 months, but it's certainly not hard to believe it's September because we've been blessed with college football season, the best time of the year. I'm surprised I didn't hear any go Vols. No, there we go, okay. I hope I didn't upset anybody else. I know we've got a lot of other fans in the room, but we are in Tennessee. So being here a little over 10 months, you could say that these remarks really kind of serve as a year in review for me. Within days of my arrival at Duck River, it became very clear to me that the people of Duck River see things a little differently. Our coworkers are more than just coworkers. We're a family. The folks that we serve power to, you, our customers, are so much more than customers. In fact, you're not customers, you're our members. And that's one big difference between a municipality or an investor-owned utility and a cooperative. They have customers, we have members. And y'all could never be reduced to just a meter on the side of a house or a series of account numbers. You're so much more than that. You're our friends and you're our neighbors. And that's the Duck River way. And I think what I have found here is just a spirit of neighborly service that is very unique to this neck of the woods. And I've been very privileged to witness it since I got here last November. So when I sat in my office and I started thinking about what did I want to do here at Duck River, I started working on a plan to really build upon that spirit of community service with y'all, our members. Because when we show up somewhere, it's important that we show up with heart and purpose, not just our presence. Our mission at Duck River is to empower our communities and enhance the quality of life for our members, which is you. And so, with the support of your board of directors and the rest of the Duck River family, I'm happy to announce that we are rededicating ourselves to you, our communities. In fact, in the past year, we've launched several new initiatives to get us back into the communities in very meaningful ways. We started very strong about a month into my time at Duck River, where for the first time ever, every single office at Duck River participated in their local Christmas parade. And I see him here. I want to give Brian Seals some credit there because that was his idea. So he's the guy right there. You thought I couldn't see you, Brian, but you're in the back at the door. Wave your hand real quick. Let's give Brian Seals some applause. So Brian's in the shadows, but I know him well enough to know his face is about as red as that shirt right now, probably. Ben, is that accurate? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Brian's a great guy. In 2025, we reached over 5,000 students, pre-K through high school, in the local schools that we serve. And while we were there, we were given the opportunity to teach our children electric safety. We were given the opportunity to go over STEM activities with those children. And we were also able to do mock interviews so that our children had the confidence they need when they're out in the workforce trying to get that first job. We also introduced a new cooperative-wide volunteerism program that we actually call Commitment to Community, where we allow our employees to volunteer at local community organizations during our business hours, and we encourage that. Every employee is given 8 hours a year to do that. And we recently wrapped up something for the first time ever that we did, and that is our Commitment to Community annual Duck River Charity Golf Tournament. And we raised over $35,000 at that tournament that will be directly given to local nonprofit community organizations in our service territory. So we're very, very excited about that. And while I'm here today talking to you all about community and talking to you about service, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge and thank the 3 Duck River linemen who just got back from Guatemala. So I want to specifically thank Lucas Burke, Chase Cares, and Cody McElwain. They were in Guatemala for 17 days, bringing electricity to 2 rural, remote Guatemalan villages. And they were away, that's right, let's give them some applause. You know, they were away from their loved ones. We had some that had very small children, and that was a huge sacrifice, not only for them, but also for their loved ones who are back home. And I can't think of a better example of that spirit of service, that spirit of community service, than what those 3 gentlemen did. Of course, as we all know, there's more to running an electric cooperative than just spending time with our neighbors. And while that's a key part of what we will be doing moving forward, at the end of the day, Duck River exists for one ultimate purpose, and that is to provide you, our members, safe, reliable power. And I think we would all agree over the past few years that mission has faced some headwinds. I'm sure most of the folks in this room probably remember Christmas Eve of 2022 when we had those blistering cold temperatures, and unfortunately TVA required us to implement rolling blackouts to some of our members. I'm confident that I can speak for TVA and every single power company in the Valley when I say that's not something we ever want to do, and we never want to have to do it again. But that's going to take proactive planning on our part to avoid that, because demand for energy in the Tennessee Valley is increasing. Anthony talked about this a little bit, but since 2018, Duck River has grown by 10,000 members and added 300 miles of line. And in fact, growth in the Tennessee Valley footprint is 3 times that of the national average. So certainly, we have to be proactive as we face those challenges. Last year, Anthony Kimbrough spoke about how Duck River was investigating solutions to those challenges. And I'm happy to report that since last year, we have been very proactive, and we partnered with some Tennessee cooperatives to propose what's known as a peaking plant to the TVA. The peaking plant will allow us to strengthen the grid during the times when energy is needed most in the valley. This supplemental generation will work alongside the TVA's assets to provide service to you, our members, when it's needed most. And while the approval process with the TVA may take up to 2 years, Duck River is committed to working with both the TVA and our state officials to get this project done, because we believe that a locally driven cooperative approach to this issue that we face is right for you, our members, and the rest of the valley. So I'm going to wrap up. I know I've talked long enough, and I know we're all here to get to the raffles and maybe that truck. But if y'all have heard me say 2 words throughout my speech, it's been community and communities. And that was no mistake. And by my count, since I freestyled a little bit, I may be a little low, but I think I've said the word community or communities 15 times at least. And that's because you, our community, are at the core of everything that we do. Whether it's showing up in schools or volunteering at a nonprofit, we're here to stand side by side and hand in hand with you to empower you and power our communities. Thank you all so much.
Connie Potts is a brave woman. She loads up a bus and takes a lot of teenagers every year to Washington, D.C. as part of the youth tour. And so that's what this report is about. And it really is about our future.
Thank you. And thank you for bringing the microphone back down for me. I appreciate that. This is the part of the program where we get to recognize the achievements of a remarkable group of young people. These students have demonstrated insight and creativity and earned a once-in-a-lifetime journey to our nation's capital. These amazing students took a chance, many going out of their comfort zones and writing a 900-word short story about electric cooperatives. Many stories were probably written the night before they were due. They tell me that after the fact, but regardless, these students before you won this trip. And this trip is part of a long-standing tradition here at Duck River Electric and empowers outstanding students by sending them to Washington, giving them a chance to walk among the historic monuments, tour the Capitol, and engage with their peers and other cooperatives. So this morning, if I were to ask anyone in the audience if they wanted to chaperone 10 teenagers operating on about 3 hours of sleep at night, probably walking 10 miles a day, riding buses to Washington, D.C., I probably would not get many volunteers. Well, I may or may not have shared all that information with Mr. Wright when he volunteered to assist me with chaperoning duties. Can you attest to that?
Some details were omitted.
But we both had a great experience, and many of our tours actually occurred on days like today, in the rain, but we never stopped. We enjoyed seeing the excitement on their faces as they saw the Washington Monument for the first time, walked the many steps of the Lincoln Memorial in the pouring rain, honored the fallen at the Arlington National Cemetery, and got to view the treasures at the Smithsonian Museums. As you can see, several of the winners are here with us today on the stage. We did take 10 students. Some of the others had conflicts, which is totally understandable. This is an elite group of juniors, and well, they're seniors now, but they have other obligations with school activities. I know 2 of my students are at Leadership Bedford Retreat, so that's perfectly understandable that they're not here today. But I am glad to have the ones that can join me this morning. And many traveled quite a distance to get here, and I really do appreciate that. And at this time, I want the parents or anyone that came with them to stand so we can recognize you for your dedication to your children and for joining us this morning. Thank you. And I do believe some of them would like to say a few comments about the trip. You want to go first?
I wasn't planning on talking first, so there's really nothing planned. But, so yeah, we got to watch a video, just like as our class from last year. They made a video over what the youth tour looks like, and I was determined to go. Like, there was no other option for me. I was gonna go on this trip. And I actually didn't do mine the night before. I did it like a week before and spent like 10 hours working on it over the course of like a few days. And I turned it in and I was really excited. And then I got it back and my grade was like, I don't know, it was like a 72, a 74, something like that. And it was bad. And so the teacher told me that she couldn't enter it just because of like, it didn't meet the different qualifications or whatever, but she gave it back to me. I talked to a few friends, I fixed a few things, turned it back in, got it to like an 84, I think, so still not the best grade, so I didn't think I was going. And then like a month later, we got it back and she told us that we were going on the trip, and it was awesome. I mean, we went on the trip, it was incredible. The people that I went, we had the best time. We had the best bus for sure. Like all of us talked, it was amazing, and I'd just like to thank you guys so much for that opportunity.
I originally did not plan on writing the essay until my junior English teacher told me that I should, and I'm really thankful for her actually. She really pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I'm really happy for her. But like she said, we made a lot of friends, and we went to really cool places. My favorite was Monticello, because I really liked Thomas Jefferson. And I'm just super thankful for the opportunity that I got, and that I made so many new experiences and new friends.
Hi, I just want to thank Duck River for choosing me to go on the Washington Youth Tour. It was such an amazing trip, and I learned so much while making great memories. I'm really thankful for this opportunity.
So I did not actually write mine the night before. I worked on it when I found out. And then whenever I found out I won, I thought I was in trouble. Principal stopped me in the middle of the hallway and said, "I need to talk to you." And I was kind of really scared, but then I found out I won, so it was okay. I'm really thankful for this opportunity. I saw so many things. It's such a big trip that you would think you would have stuff to talk about, but when you look at it, it's just, you're kind of speechless and in awe, like you don't really know what to say. So you're just like, it was really great, because it was. We made so many friends. We won the trivia. Our bus did. We had the best bus. It's just what we are. And it was just really great. So thank you.
First of all, I just want to give a huge thank you to Duck River and Connie and James for giving me the opportunity to go to DC and then to be up here talking today. I wrote my essay like a week before it was due, but I was kind of shocked when I won but I'm still really thankful that I got to go. My favorite part was definitely Arlington National Cemetery because it gives you a sense of respect for, all of the people that gave their lives for us to be here today. And I made so many friends, and I definitely got out of my comfort zone a lot more. And even being up here right now is out of my comfort zone, so.
Oh, thank you, guys. Do y'all want to turn around so they can see the back of your shirts? These are our cool shirts that Duck River had. Our co-op had the best shirts, I think, James. Don't you agree? Yeah, okay.
Read the back of it, too.
It says, it's got the Capitol on it with a duck with a hard hat, and it says Duck Feet in the streets of D.C. And we can thank one of our communications co-workers, Amir, standing on the wall. Amir, recognize yourself. He helped us with the design. So as you can see from the comments, it is more than just touring the Capitol. It's the connections they made, the new experiences, the stories and the laughter shared. It was about growth, discovery, and the beginning of lifelong friendships. It's all about taking that step that all began with a 900-word short story. At this time, I would like to introduce you to the students on stage with me. Mr. Kimbrough, will you help me? First, we have Aubrey Zuniga. Did I get it right? Oh, good. I told her I would mess her name up. Aubrey Zuniga is with Marshall County. Brooke Dyer, Marshall County. Next, we have Jaylee Sherry, Marshall County. Jenna Payne, Franklin County. And Kenna Mason, Franklin County. And like I said earlier, we did have a few that had commitments, but I do want to recognize those. Aiden Roberts, Bedford County. C.J. Crowell, Bedford County. And that reminds me of a little running joke that James and I had. He helped me chaperone our 10 students. He was only responsible for 2. So he took the boys, and I had 8 girls. So he was constantly saying, Connie, I got my 2. Where's your 8? So next year we may have to get more boys. Chloe Slavko was from Marshall County. Isabella Schlater, Marshall County. And Kenyon Alvarez, Coffee County. We'll make sure we get their certificates to them. At this time, I want to recognize any teachers or retired teachers. I do know we have one because I saw her in the hall. Is Miss Brenda in here somewhere? Brenda Brown? Brenda Brown was an English teacher at Forest High School for many years and retired. She is a great supporter of this program, and it even comes back to help the teachers that are currently doing it. So we do appreciate our teachers. So let's give all them a round of applause. And lastly, I want to thank the board and the staff for believing in this program and letting us be able to offer this program to the students. And hopefully we can continue to do it for many years to come. Thank you.
Good morning again. As Mr. Kimbrough said earlier, my name is Andy Bobo. I'm General Counsel for the Cooperative. Today I will give the report on the Committee on Nomination for Directors. The meeting of the Committee on Nominations was held at the Shovel Headquarters Annex of Duck River Electric Membership Corporation on Thursday, March 6, 2025 at 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time. The following committee members were present: Roxanne Patton, Kelly Moore, Susan Askew, Larry Moorhead, Amy Martin, Marty Davis, Jerry Hooper, and Clint Owens. The purpose for which the nominating committee was called together and the duties assigned to them was to nominate members of the board of directors for this coming year. Larry Moorhead served as chairman and Amy Martin served as secretary of the committee. The following were nominated for directors for a period of 3 years, their names to be presented for election in conjunction with today's annual meeting. For Zone 1, Coffee County, Cannon County, and Warren Counties, Baxter White. For Zone 2, the University of the South, Mark Webb. Zone 3, Moore and Lincoln Counties, Buford Jennings. Zone 5, Marshall and Giles Counties, Will Wilson. Zone 6, Murray, Hickman, Lawrence, Lewis, and Williamson Counties, Dana Salters. In accordance with the requirements of the bylaws of the corporation, the committee further unanimously requested that the above listed nominees be posted at the principal office of the corporation by the committee for consideration of members in conjunction with the annual meeting today. The list was immediately posted as requested. No petitions have been submitted, and as a result, the nominated members are unopposed for their respective seats.
Thank you, Andy. And we told you we had just a little bit of business, but we're just about there. Because, as Mr. Bobo just read to you, there were no nominations by petitions for zones 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, where multiple candidates were not nominated and voting not held. So all those nominations are closed per the bylaws, and all director candidates for zones are unopposed. Is there any objection to waiving the secret ballot, therefore, and electing by acclamation? I don't believe so. So do I have a motion that all unopposed directors be elected by acclamation? And once again, if you would, you'd help me let Jenny hear your name and county. Do I have a motion? Okay, Larry Moorhead, Moore County. Thank you. Do I have a second? Mr. Brown, from what county? Coffee. Thank you. Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I hear none. Do all in favor say aye? Aye. Any opposition? There is none. So that is passed. Thank you for those candidates being elected. Thank you very much. Now, I also know at this point, I don't know of any other unfinished business. So unless someone in the audience has a question at this point, then we will proceed. And along the lines of, you heard Andy talk about the nominations committee as part of our new business, we'll make the announcement now of the 2025-2026 nominations committee as follows. Zone 1 in Coffee and Warren Counties, Roxanne Patton. Zone 2, Franklin, Grundy, and Marion Counties, Kelly Moore. Sewanee, University of the South, Susan Askew. Zone 3, Moore and Lincoln Counties, Larry Moorhead. Zone 4, Bedford and Rutherford Counties, Amy Martin and Marty Davis. Zone 5, Marshall and Giles Counties, Jerry Hooper. And Zone 6, Murray, Hickman, Lawrence, Lewis, and Williamson Counties, Clint Owens. So that is the nominations committee for the upcoming year. So at this point, there being no further business, do I hear a motion to adjourn? Have a motion to adjourn, and I don't believe that requires a second. So, as James said earlier, thank you so much.